average people that have never done property, they're completely new to property, start to crush it and start making money from their laptops, the internet connection with the right knowledge, okay? Even if you've never done property, believe me guys, don't think you need to be techie or some tech wizard or have loads of property background. You don't need fucking none of that. Trust me on that. Excuse my Italian, it's passion, okay? So wholesaling 101, I'm gonna break this down exactly how it works. And really there's only 3 steps to it really, guys. You've got person A, which is the seller. And this seller owns a property. So this individual, they're a seller and they own a property. So it all starts with, and this is what I always teach my clients, what is the seller's problem? What problem do they need solving? And with our unique knowledge, which is only 1 or 2% of the property community and business community even have this knowledge, we have niched knowledge. What does that mean? We can solve problems where other people can't solve problems because we've got unique, specialized knowledge. Does that make sense, guys? If you've got specialized knowledge, that means you can dominate because you know how to provide a solution. So essentially, this individual, they own a property, right? So this house here. So they own this property, but they want to sell it fast. So the first thing is they want to sell it fast and they're willing to sell it cheaper than the market value in exchange for selling it fast. Why do they want to sell it fast? Well, there's a few reasons. It's going to get repossessed by the bank. They're getting divorced right now. They're late on they're a tired landlord. There's probate. There's ill health. There's bankruptcy, there's inheritance, there's moving abroad, there's a new job offer, there's relocating. There's tons of reasons why this individual, this seller or a landlord that might own multiple properties, they want to sell it. They want to sell their house, but they don't have parfait to go with an agent because there's chains, commissions, it takes too long, there's too much uncertainty. So they want an offer, a fast, fair cash offer. And they want to sell it fast. So what we do, which is person B, is we make them an offer. But we make it below market value. So what we do here, let's get the pen a second, is let's just say we do our due diligence and we find out the market value of this property is worth 100,000. So what is selling in the street is selling for around about £100,000, okay? So we've done our due diligence, and I'll explain on how you do that later, and we found out it's worth about £100,000. We looked on Rightmove, we looked what was selling on the street on Zoopla and so on, okay? It's conservative that it's gonna sell for 100 grand. But here's the exciting thing, is this seller wants to sell it quickly. They wanna sell it in 4 weeks and they want a cash offer. So what do they want? They want certainty and they're willing to reduce to get certainty because they want the cash now. For example, someone that gets a payday loan, huge interest rates, but they want the cash now. So why? Because they're motivated to get the money. It's the same as this person. They have an asset and they want to sell it quickly. They can't go with an agent. So they've got to go to a home buying company that buy properties. So they're willing to sell quick. So we're a deal sourcer. And as a deal sourcer, which there's tons of different industries that do this. Banks do this. We buy any car. All these different companies. So a lot of the time, 80% of the time or more, they're actually middlemen. So they control it at a price and sell it for a higher price. They're like a wholesaler. But what we do is we go, well, we can buy your property for say 75 grand. So normally with a traditional below market value offer that I teach, below market value wholesale deal, some people call it traditional wholesaling, I go in at about 25% off, depending on the area. If it's in the southern regions, maybe 15%, 20%. But normally if it's a 50 to 150,000 pound house up north, I'm gonna go in at around about 25% off. By the way, I had one client, Chris, do 3 deals, one in Wood Green, one in Edgware, and one in Hackney, made about 25, 30 grand in just fees in London. So it works in London as well. But we're going to go in at 75 grand here. So they say yes because they want to sell it quickly. We go to this seller, look, there's no fees, no hassle, no repairs needed, nothing like that. Our buyer will even pay your solicitor fees. So to them, I go, look, we work with buyers on a close partnership basis, and we can find you a buyer within our acquisitions team that can buy your house for 75 grand. So all they care about is they're getting this price. They don't care what you're getting. They don't give a damn about that. They just want to get this quickly with no hassle, no fees, and with that certainty. So write that down, no hassle, no fees, and with certainty. So what we do, as you can see here, we've made the offer. It's been accepted. So what happens when our offer gets accepted, which has been 75 grand, we control it with what's called an option contract. So an option contract actually gives you the option to buy, but not the obligation. So what does that mean? Essentially, if we don't buy it, we can walk away, but the buyer can't. So it locks them in for 2 things, a price and a term. So usually we're going to control this property for about 4 weeks. It can be longer, but we only need 4 weeks because we build our buyers list. And our buyers are hungry buyers looking for great deals. And trust me guys, if you get a deal genuinely for 25% off the retail value, it's going to sell all day. Why? Because it's going to make someone money. So what we do is we get it under contract. We don't buy the house and sell it to the buyer. We control it with the option. That's what makes it possible with no credit, no money, right? And anyone can do this. What we do is we control it and we sell it to this guy. Let's just call this guy Joe. And we assign our rights to the contract. So when we assign our rights to the contract, I'm going to do it at a higher fee. So if I'm controlling at 75 grand, I'm going to flip it for 80 grand and get a 5 grand fee. So what happens, guys, as a deal sourcer, as a wholesaler, your job is to be good at 2 things and 2 things only, and this is what I teach my clients. Of course, you need to understand the strategies. You need to be educated. You need to understand them. You need to practice them. And you need to get training and consulting from someone that is an expert, like learning how to drive. You learn from someone that's an expert and they walk you through the motions and then you can start driving by yourself. It's the same as learning how to go up in space or be a pilot or anything like that. You need the training. Once you know, though, 2 things. Marketing, you need to be good at generating seller here and buyer leads, person A and person C, and you need to be good at matching these up and doing good deals. And anyone could do it. You don't need to be a great salesman. You need to simply be a doctor of property. You're looking for someone's problem. What is person's A problem? What is the seller's problem that we can help with? And how can we find a buyer that is happy to buy that deal because they see it as a great return on investment? Okay, that's how that works. So we assign the deal. We sign it for 80 grand. It takes on average about 3 to 4 weeks to complete. It can be quicker because normally this buyer is going to be a cash buyer. So they're going to be cash buyers and we're going to get paid. So we got paid simply by matching the seller and buyer up. So let's recap. What we did is we done some marketing for sellers. We brought them in, we attracted them in through attraction marketing. And what happened then is we made an offer. We done our due diligence, we got on the phone, we done some research, and we found out what the property is worth. We went back with an offer, we found out it was worth 100 grand. We said we can complete in 4 weeks, but it'd be £75,000. No fees, no repairs, nothing like that. We even pay your solicitor fees. And then we assigned the contract to the buyer that's looking for a fixer-upper project, or they're a landlord, or whatever the situation is. They want to buy and hold with equity in the property, they're a landlord, or they're someone that's like at auctions that buy properties, fix them up, and sell them immediately. There's only 2 types of investors that you're selling to: buy and hold, buy to let, and buy to flip, buy to fix it up and flip it on. So essentially what we did is we are building our buyers list, and then we're using attraction marketing to attract these motivated sellers. So that is the overall process of how Wholesaling 101 works. I'm going to leave you with some more tips actually on marketing. So when it comes to making this flow, the key is marketing. So let me break this down for you. When it comes to marketing, you want to be a monster. And let me explain what I mean by that. So essentially, the more leads you have, the more deals you're going to do. So for the average person in my mentoring group and people that I teach and work with on a one-to-one basis, and I've been doing this since 2014, every single day, and I've seen that success. So these clues, I know what stats you need, the numbers to get a deal. So on average, we've seen, it's a numbers game. If you generate 30 leads, it equals a deal. So if you generate 30 leads and make 30 offers to them leads, which I've got something very exciting in the next video, I'm going to share how my software, Interflow, actually automates this entire process, guys. So I have a software called Interflow, and it's a software that essentially does this all for you. We call it the miracle money machine. It helps you find sellers, it makes offers for you, fills the contracts out for you, has built-in comparables so you can find out what the property is worth, built-in agreements. It's all electronic, it's all basically automated. It's literally about 5-6 minutes from new lead to make an offer, all auto-filled. So we've generated and made the systems and the blueprints, the world's first actually for the UK, to actually make this possible. So you're probably thinking, this is so much. By the end of the day, guys, like I said, if you want to learn how to be a pilot, you learn from someone that's an expert and you just follow step by step what they do. And also you're in an environment, so you're set up to be successful. So it's like in the rainforest, it blossoms. But if you're in a poisoned bit of soil, you're not going to blossom no matter how good your action is and your mindset and your intention. So the environment is so huge because at the end of the day, the practicality is you need to generate 30 leads and you need to make 30 offers to them leads, and that's going to generate you a deal. So you're probably thinking, what types of marketing is there? So I'm going to go and break this down, how you actually generate sellers and buyers, and the best way to do this in 2018. One of my favorites is Facebook ads and direct mail. So let me start with Facebook ads. So with Facebook ads, guys, the great thing about it, and you're probably not aware if you haven't used Facebook ads, maybe some of you guys have before, Facebook allows you to put your ad in front of any demographic. So a 30-year-old person that is looking to sell their house quickly or they're moving, you can put your ad in front of that person. Direct mail, there's ways to generate direct mail lists of people that are getting repossessed, behind on their payments, they've inherited a house, they have no equity, they're in a situation where they need to sell fast, they've had it on the market for 6 months. There's loads of different direct mail lists that you can get hold of, and you can start marketing to these people, because the power of this business, to get success in this business, is super easy, guys. At the end of the day, it's direct response marketing. You need to market to these people directly, have a direct list that you know are going to be a warm audience, so you're not doing any cold calls or anything like that. And then you're attracting leads to you. You're attracting customers to you. So you're not out hustling, knocking on doors, cold calling or anything like that. What I do and what I get to work with my clients on is have a plan, have a strict marketing plan, and then what you do is essentially you allow sellers and buyers to come to you. And I really feel that through trial and testing this and spending close to $1 million, you know, £750,000 of my own money on Facebook ads, a lot of investment into Facebook, tons of direct mail, and seeing my clients get results from both of them. What I found is the key is consistency, focus, and just picking one and doing it, guys. It's as simple as that. But Facebook ads is gold right now. So Facebook, essentially, all you're doing is you're writing an ad similar to a Facebook post, and you're putting it in front of someone that wants to sell their house fast. So it's super, super targeted. With direct mail, what you do is you compose a list and you send them a direct mail piece. So a postcard or a letter, and you send that directly to that list, and my systems can actually send it within the software. So we can send all this within the software, and we can actually send up our 3 to 6 month drip campaign from within Interflow. So it's so cool. And same as Facebook ads, any leads that come in, they funnel straight into Interflow. So everything is in one place. It's easy for the average beginner that's working a job that only has an hour a day to input into this business, right, guys? Because look, most of you guys, you don't have the time. You're tired when you come back from work. You want to have, you know, something that's done for you, a recipe that's made for you that allows you to actually get results. And if that's just a part-time income for your pension, or for you guys that want to take it serious, build off enough income to actually replace your job, you have that option. You know, no pun intended, right? So you have the option, guys. So Facebook ads and direct mail are two of the best ways right now in 2018 to get results. And we got some clients right now with Facebook ads. For example, I've got a client, Alex and Leon. They've just bought in a deal that's going to make them over 20 grand. They've got another below market value deal signed. At the moment, we've got 6 potential deals this month alone from our marketing in Ireland. We're doing it in Dublin right now, me and my business partner Garrett. And where does that come from? Facebook ads. And I'll share you a story. And one of my clients, Garrett, he actually done Facebook. He invested around about €7,000. Not everyone has that money to start. Some people start off with 500 a month or even less. However, he turned that into over 6 figures. So it's over 1,000% return, guys, and that's unheard of in most businesses. Look, most businesses look for a 20% return, not 1,000% return. So the great thing about deal sourcing is it's very profitable. It's a very, very profitable business. And once you get the marketing machine going, once you essentially pick a strategy, number one, you pick a marketing method and you start bringing in leads. It doesn't matter where the heck you are. If you're in Japan, you're traveling to Malaysia, you're in Thailand on holiday, you're in Hawaii, Barcelona. I've traveled all around the world, guys. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to Slovenia. My business doesn't skip a beat because I've set up the right systems, the right automated systems, and I've got a marketing machine in place. And in the next video, I'm going to share with you how this marketing